Well, what is going on in Ecuador right now is the continuation of the struggle as soon as Moreno took power. The policies, the progressive policies of the prior government of Correa were dismantled. So the struggle started immediately. So I'm going to more or less read the history of how this went. Following 10 days of stability under the presidency of Rafael Correa, Lenín Moreno became president with the promises of continuing the Revolucion Ciudadana project and the progressive policies that had improved the lives of the working class. Instead, Moreno allied with the right-wing opposition. He gave away enterprises to corrupt oligarchs, allowing them to enrich themselves while charging the public higher rates. The country's electrical corporation was handed over to former President Bucaram, whom the people had ousted from the presidency after only 6 months due to the alleged corruption. Moreno further aided the rich by forgiving them 4.5 million owed in taxes by bankers and entrepreneurs. He brought false charges against those who stood up to him and denounced his actions. Democratically elected Vice President Glass was imprisoned and stripped of his powers after being tried in a kangaroo court by judges appointed by Moreno. Moreno's international policies were similarly regressive. He withdrew from UNASUR and other organizations that united Latin American countries, showing a desire to please the US. He has sided with them against Venezuela. And this year gave the US military the right to use an airstrip in the Galapagos Islands. He took out $4.2 billion loan from the International Monetary Fund. And in order to fulfill the terms of the loan, implemented a paquetazo, a series of economic measures to try to fix his self-made crisis. He has already laid off 150,000 government workers, increased taxes, and reduced fuel subsidies, as well as the budgets of public works. These changes will increase poverty in the country and hurt the most vulnerable. Ecuador produces gasoline, but will now charge its people the same price it charges in first world countries, which in turn will lead to an increase in cost for all goods and services. And though taxes are theoretically being raised on everyone, in practice, foreign exchange taxes will be forgiven, encouraging the rich to avoid paying their fair share by transferring their money to tax havens. The government workers who have remained have likewise not escaped unscathed. Their vacation days have been cut in half, and they are being forced to give 1 day per month salary to the state. In response, the people took to the streets and called for a national strike to reject these unpopular measures. Indigenous groups, with their history of helping oust corrupt presidents, have played a major role detaining military who attempt to repress them for putting up road barricades in their territories, and at one point even managing to occupy the assembly in Quito, though they were taken out by military gas bombs. Moreno countered by implementing martial law. Police and military repressed demonstrators, with over 700 people detained and 8 killed. 3 of them youth pushed from a bridge by military forces. Moreno also fled the capital and barricaded himself in the coastal city of Guayaquil under the protection of the right-wing social Christians, only returning to Quito with military assistance after indigenous groups numbering in the thousands vowed to follow him to Guayaquil. At this moment, the strike has run for 7 days and still continues. In spite of the martial law, the majority wish to not only undo the economic measures, but also oust Moreno from power. Though Moreno tries to claim that the demonstrators are a conspiracy by the Venezuelan government, Ecuadorians know the truth. He is a stooge of the United States. Ecuador has a history of struggling against imperialism, having once toppled 3 presidents in the same year for the same reasons. It continues the struggle for sovereignty today. U.S. stopped supporting Traidor Moreno. U.S. out of Ecuador. U.S. out of Latin America. What I can say is that we need to support. We're going to be supporting from here, going to demonstrations every day in Queens with the community, with Ecuadorian communities. And we're going to continue demanding the derogation of these measures and also the ousting of Moreno. We don't fuera Moreno. We don't want Moreno there. And we are calling for a constituent assembly. That's what we wanted to do, so we can call for elections, new government, and hopefully we'll have back Correa. That's what we want.